Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Look what I've made. I have made a cute little baby hat with ear flaps on it. Now this is just like a newborn size. You can make this bigger if you want. I did it very similar to the adult one. I've made an adult one. It's got the same top and that same stitch. And this is the adult one. Now, I've done a tutorial how to make the adult size one. And what I did was I've made I made a baby one and I put a button on it so that you can have that. It will come out of there. You just pull that open and look at that. I really like it. It's really pretty. And I made just a simple pom-pom on the top. And it's really secure, this pom-pom as well. I've just made sure it was really secure. Now, the yarn I used is this. This is amazing yarn. It's called Baby Blossom Chunky. And it's by Hayfield. And it's absolutely amazing. I love it. You get it in all different colours and it's lovely. This was in a box that I got from my friend Claire Sarsfield, and she was on the Knitting Network, and it was in a surprise box, and it's beautiful. I really like this. It's amazing to work with, and look at that when it's crocheted up. Absolutely beautiful. I would love a whole big bundle of this in different colours for making baby blankets. So to make this really simple little heart, it's just a circle on the top. I've got a circle on the top and then I did my side. Now you don't need to put these little flaps on the end. You can just have it as a little hat. It works out just as pretty. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And I used this Baby Blossom Chunky. This one is just a shade number and it's 0350 for the shade number for it, and it's a really pretty pink. They do it in all different colours, and I saw the blue. I don't have any of the blue, but it's absolutely beautiful, this yarn, and it's great to work with as well. It's lovely to work with. So I'll pop that aside and I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful little helmet hat like this. You can do a chain of three and join it into a little circle if you want, but I found this little magic ring is a lot easier and it pulls in much tighter at the top. Just wind the yarn around your hand like this. We're making like a large slip knot. Scoop the yarn through like this and then just let it go. Get your working yarn and just tighten in that stitch. And you've got what looks like a lasso. You can pull it in a little bit. So you've got what looks like a little bit of a lasso. So I'm going to chain three. 1, 2, 3. Now into this circle I'm going to put 11 treble crochets. So with the chain there, that makes 12 altogether. If you want a slightly bigger hat for a bigger baby, put 13 in there and that one makes 14. You go up in even numbers. Now I'm going to put 11 in there and that one's going to make 12. So yarn over and just go into your circle and I'm going to do 11 more treble crochets. So that chain counts as my first one and I'm going to put 11 more into there to make 12 all together. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over through the loop. There I've got 12 stitches. If you count your chain of 3, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to pull that tail and pull it in so that it makes a circle. And that's why I like that magic circle better than a chain. It pulls it really tight in. Now I will put a few stitches in with a darning needle, and that'll keep that hole closed. So I'm going to finish this round by going into the third stitch. Just slip stitch, push your hook through, pull your yarn through, and then pull it through that stitch. That's called a slip stitch. So that gives us our inner circle. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That counts as your first treble crochet. Now we've got 12 in this circle. If you want a bigger hat, then put 14 in or 16 in, or you can go bigger for an adult and you can put 20 in. But this is what judges the size your hat's going to come out. So I've got 12. Now what I'm going to do, and right into the bottom of that treble crochet, I'm going to put another treble crochet into that hole that you can see. Not that stitch there, we're going into that little hole. So I'm going to put a treble crochet into there. We're going to do an increase round. This is a double increase. We're going to put 2 stitches. We're going to put 2 trebles into each stitch. Now you can see the stitch right beside there looks a little wonky. We're going to make sure we use that stitch. So go in there and put 2 treble crochets into that stitch. This is a double crochet if you're in the USA. We're going to put 2 into every stitch and we should have 24 stitches. So I'm going to do that, put my 2 trebles into each stitch to increase the hat size. Got my 24 stitches, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain of 3. Count 1, 2 and 3 and slip stitch into the top of that chain. Make sure you're not going into the top of that stitch next to it. Pull your yarn through and slip through the loop that's there, your stitch. That closes off your circle. Now if you want to make a bigger hat, if you want to make a newborn size, then stop here and you'll do the back and front post stitch. If you want to make your hat slightly bigger, what you're going to do is you're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. We're going to do another round. Now into the next stitch, not the little space at the bottom this time, into the next stitch we're going to put 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. Into the next one we're going to put 1 treble crochet, and into the next stitch we're going to put 2. You're going to do that all the way around. 1 treble crochet, then 2 into the next stitch, then 1 and then 2. Got 36 stitches around my little circle, and I'm going into the third stitch to slip stitch to join that round. 1, 2 and 3, and pull through to close your round. Now if you want a bigger hat, what you'll do now is you'll chain 3. That'll count as your first treble crochet. You'll do 1 into the next stitch and then 2 into the next stitch, then 1 into that stitch, 1 into that stitch and 2 into that stitch. 1, 1, then increase with 2, 1, 1, then increase 2 into that stitch. If you want to make a bigger hat for a bigger baby, then that's what you can do. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now what we're going to do is not that one, but this one here, we're going to work around the post. We're going to work, this is called the post of the stitch, and we're going to do this little hat in what's called a rib stitch. So one stitch will work around this way, and the next stitch will work around that same long part, but will go this way. It's called a front post treble crochet and a back post treble crochet if you're in the UK. Now, if you're in the USA, this is called a double crochet. And when you go around the post, it's called a double front post crochet and a double back post crochet for the back. So yarn over and go into the big space at either side of this stitch. In and bring your hook through. So that stitch is right over the top of your hook. Now pull your yarn through, give it a little wriggle, and then through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops. We're going to the next stitch. This time we're going to the back. So go through that way. Pull your yarn through and finish your stitch. And then a front post, and then a back post through the back of the stitch. So work around the post at the front and work around the other one from the back. And that's what you're going to do all the way around your hat and the back post, all the way around. And there's my chain of 3. So I'm going to slip stitch into that third stitch in this chain. Just slip through there, pull your stitch through and through that other one, and that's going to close up your little circle. And this is what we have. Now on this little one I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 8 rounds of that stitch. So I've done 8 rounds. So that's round 1. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you can see that this next stitch, don't count that one right under your chain. Don't count it. So that next one is to the front. So we'll be going around the front of that one. Your next stitch is at the back. So we're going to continue this front post and back post stitch. And you're going to do 8 rounds all together. Now, if you're doing a hat for a very small baby, try using a smaller hook. Drop down to a 6mm hook and it will make your hat slightly smaller. So that one's a back post. This one's at the front, so it's a front post. We're going around that front post and then in through the back of the next stitch. We're going around the front. Make sure you're going in through these 2 holes, not the top ones. Make sure you're going in through these big holes, the bigger spaces. And what it's going to do, it's going to make this really nice rib stitch. And then a front post one. And then that one's going to the back like that. In the front, and we're going to do 8 rounds all together. So that's my second row. I'll come back. When you go right around, you'll just slip stitch into the top of that chain of 3. Chain 3 and do another row. Do that until you've got 8 rows. So once I've got 8 rows done, I'll come back and show you what my little hat looks like, and I'll show you how to do the flaps. So just continue around your hat, doing a front post and a back post stitch. So I've got the little hat part done. Now you can actually just leave this like that and put a little piece of ribbon on. You can make just a little bonnet. Now you can see this one is slightly smaller than this one. Now this one is 36 stitches. Half of 36 is 18 and half of 18 is 9. So what I'm going to do is I want to have the ear flaps at either side here. So the same amount at the back and the same amount of stitches at the front for the face, and have the ear flaps going down the side like this. So from the join at the back here, I'm going to count round 9 stitches. So it doesn't matter how big you make this hat, make sure you use an even number that you can divide by 4 to get your ear flaps. You can just judge it with your eyes and just go like this. So I want to put it around, that's going to be the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll do 4 that way, and you've got your 1 in the middle. So from here, I'm going to pick up 9 stitches. I'm going to put my hook through here. Now you can just eyeball it. You can just put the ear flap where you think it should be. I'm just doing it this way. I'll just wrap my tail around here just to help hold it in. I'll stitch that in a minute. Pull my stitch in and chain 1. Now I'm going to pick up 9 stitches. Just through, pull through. We're doing a UK double crochet. If you're in the USA, this is a single crochet. So that's me got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So just remember from the back seam, 9's an odd number, so go 4 that way and then 4 that way when you do your other flap on this side. So I've done my 9, chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to do 1 row back. So right into the very first stitch. 1, 2, we should have 9. And I've got 1 on that end, right there. Now you can make this hat as big as you like. You can make it for an adult, or you can make it for any age of child. I'll stitch that in a few minutes. So we've done the 2 rows. So that's these 2 rows, and we're going to start reducing the ear flap. So what I'll do is I'll show you this one. We'll reduce this one, and then I'll show you how to do that little button part. This part is done exactly the same for this one, but you just finish right there. With this one, you just carry on your 2 stitches to make your button flap. So you're going to chain 1 and turn. Go into the very first stitch and pull through. Keep your loops on your hook. We're going to reduce the next stitch. Pull through. You've got 3 stitches. Yarn over and come through the 3 of them. So now we're going to work a double crochet along to the end. We'll work to the last 2 stitches on this row. So we've got 2 stitches left, so we're going to reduce these 2. Pull your yarn through, go into the next one, into the next one, pull your yarn through, yarn over and through the 3 loops. chain one and turn. We're going to do the same to these two. We'll reduce these two and reduce these two. So through the next stitch, pull through the next stitch, pull your yarn through, yarn over and through the loops. Remember, we're not doing any yarn overs first because it's a double crochet that we're doing. So double crochet along to the last two stitches. We've got two left, so yarn over. So hook through the hole, pull through, keep it on your hook, and go into that last one, pull through, yarn over and through those three loops. Chain one, turn. Now don't worry about that, that will get stitched in. So you can see that the little ear flap is starting to reduce down. So yarn through, pull your yarn through, make a loop on your hook and keep it on there. Do the next one, pull through, and we're going to reduce our stitch. Work to the last two, and that's the last two there. So yarn through, so hook through, pull your yarn, hook through that last stitch, pull your yarn over, chain one and turn. And that's us reduce the ear flap. So I've got 3 stitches left. So I'm just going to do 3 double crochets, chain one and turn, and I'm going to make this little buttonhole part. So into my first stitch there, we'll just do a few rows. I'm going to do about 4 rows, 1, 2, that's my third stitch. Chain one and turn. Chain one and turn it back. Work it to the length that you want it. If you've got the baby on hand, you can put the hat on the baby's head and just keep working until that meets your other ear flap. So chain one and turn. So actually it might have been better to do the single ear flap first. Chain one and turn. We're going to do a few rows. So to make the buttonhole, I'm going to chain one and turn, do my first stitch, chain one, skip that one and work that last stitch, and that's going to make my little buttonhole. That'll make the little space for the button. So what I'll do now is I'm going to cut my yarn, pull that stitch through, we'll stitch that end, we'll stitch that up in there, and that gives us the hole for the button and the little strap. So we'll do the other side, we'll do the other ear flap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into that one there. So we'll pull our yarn through, just twist it around a little bit. And we're going to pick up 9 stitches across. So that's your first one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Chain one and turn. straight into the next one. We'll do one row, and then we'll start reducing again. To that last stitch. Chain one and turn. So we're going to reduce for the ear flap. So through there, keep the stitch on the hook, through the next stitch and pull through. You've got 3 loops, yarn over and pull through them all. Work to the last 2 stitches at the other side. So we've got the last 2 stitches, pull through, keep it on the hook, through your last one, yarn over and through all of them. Chain one and turn. So we're going to reduce again through your first one, through your second one, yarn over and pull through. Work to the last 2 stitches at the other side, yarn over, pull through that little bundle, yarn over and come through all of them. Chain one and turn. Reduce again through that one. Work to the next 2. You've got your last 2 there. Pull through, yarn over, turn, and we're just going to reduce the whole 3 of these all together. Yarn over and pull through, and that's that one finished. Now you can rewind a video. Just pull that through. We'll get our darning needle and we'll stitch this in. We'll stitch that in. Stitch this little tail in. Stitch this little tail in. Now that's your buttonhole there, and we'll sew our button here, just like we've done with this one. This one's slightly bigger. So to put your ear flaps on, you can either eyeball it, just fold it in half and put the ear flaps where you think they should be. I'm going to show you how to do this little pom-pom. That was really easy. I hope I've got enough yarn left. So what I'm going to do is I just wind all the yarn that I had left. Just wind it up. So wind yarn around your hand. We're going to make a little pom-pom. This is really easy. It's up to you how big you want to make your pom-pom or how thick you want to make your pom-pom. Cut that off. So we're going to lay that down. Take another piece. We'll pop that out of the way. I'm going to fold this part in half. Fold it in half. And I'm going to put it through this hole. Just put it through the hole. It's like a donut. And we're going to tie it off. Tie it really tight. Tie it as tight as you can. There we go. Keep those long lengths. We're going to cut through all of these loops. Put your scissors through. Doesn't matter if you get any that comes loose like this. And trim your little pom-pom to the length that you want it. I'll get myself some sharper scissors. There we go. All that out of the way. Hook up there. Give that a little shake. Now you only need a little straggly pom-pom because that one's a little straggly as well. And then you're going to put your ends on a darning needle. Put 2 ends each, and you're going to sew that to this, to stitch your little pom-pom to the top of your hat like that. Those strands should end up inside the hat, and you'll sew it on and it'll be just like this. I've sewed that right through there where you can see. I pulled all of those strands through, put them onto a darning needle, and I stitched it in around there. And that's going to keep your little pom-pom hat on like this. I put a button on that side, and your button just goes through like that. That part will go under the baby's chin. And you can make this hat as big as you like, it's up to you. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you click on the bell icon, then YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. And I've got quite a few little winter projects to do. Our next project is this, parts for it. I'm going to show you how to do this next. Now this is a beautiful neck warmer, and it's done in a crocodile stitch. I've done the neck part in a really easy double V stitch. I'm going to show you how to do this. This is the neck part, and that will attach to that. It'll go around like that once it's all finished, and it's going to make this really pretty neck warmer, and this is our next tutorial, so join me for that. So thank you very much for watching, but remember, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon, and if you click on the bell icon, YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.